All right, today I'm going to be starting a new blank, doing a rough scrape. And this blank, it's actually a little thicker than I'd like. I've been experimenting with a new kind of cane, and this particular piece just seems mighty hefty. So we'll see how this goes. It's been soaking a couple minutes, so I'm going to let it soak one more minute. I tied these on this morning, and so I'm hoping they're more manageable blanks to work on tomorrow. And they do appear that way. You can just tell in the slope of the reed, like the tip, even that little bit I scraped off in the tip just holds it together and just conforms into a nicely shaped reed already in the blank. If you compare that slope to this one, you might not be able to tell a huge difference, but this one, the tip is just in general a little thicker and it's just heavier. I can tell it's bigger and more open up at the top. So I have a feeling it might be a little difficult to work with, but we're gonna go for it and to see what happens. All right. Let's go ahead and get the bark off. Been going back and forth between these two knives recently. This one, you can tell the blade is wider. They're both Landwell knives. I think I've just used this one a lot longer, and so over time it just has gotten a little shorter. Now this one is newer. Oh, it feels very sharp, which is good. Just to be careful. Okay, so I'm going to thin the sides as I get the bark off here, since it's so open, and I just want to go ahead and thin it maybe a little more than I normally would before I take the bark off the rest of the reed. I just want to tame this part down. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. Now, in a couple weeks, on August 23rd, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass called Breathe Better, Sound Better. And I'm super excited about it. I did a lot of research on this a couple years ago, and I never did the class. So I'm like, okay, people need this, so let's do this class. And really, it's all about taking a better breath and learning how to breathe efficiently and using your breath in the most efficient way. And with that, learning which muscles you use when you play that support your sound. And I just feel like we never really talk about muscle engagement and things like that. So knowing those things, and then when you're under pressure, like if you're in a concert before your solo, if you seem to forget how to breathe, or your heart's racing so fast that you feel like you could have played better after it's over. Like you just couldn't take in your normal breath like you normally do. Like, we'll work on ways to counteract that, and you'll basically be able to train your body on how to do things on autopilot. A lot of this that we'll talk about, I learned doing my 300-hour yoga teacher training. It was just amazing. Like, we did a whole session on breathing, and I remember after one of the classes, I was like, wow, I feel like I could go play Bach for hours because I had so much expansion in my breath. And then also just learning the different muscles. I mean, if you think about it, like, musicians are athletes, just like athletes. Like, if you're lifting weights, your stomach can't be all loosey-goosey. Your core has to be engaged so you don't hurt yourself. So really similar things musicians need to do as well. So it should be a lot of fun. I'll put the link in the description box to sign up. Okay, so I've just been working down this reed. I'm gonna go to the other side. Getting this bark off. Now at the beginning of this video I said this knife felt very sharp, but it could be a little sharper now. It's not bad, but after this read I'll probably resharpen. All right, test for flexibility. Still feels a little big, so I'm not clipping this open anytime soon. All right. Back when I was learning to play the oboe, even before the oboe, when I played clarinet, you know, you hear band directors or whoever you're learning from at the time. If the breath is talked about, you talk about, oh, let's breathe into your diaphragm. But no one ever explained what the diaphragm was and why that was important and actually what to do. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's breathe into your diaphragm, but you're not really doing that. So I want to break that down and show the actual process of what's happening in the body. Because once you understand it, it makes so much more sense and you're able to do it correctly. Take this off here. Here we go. I'm so curious about how this cane is going to play out. I hope I like it. It's a bag that I bought a long time ago and I just randomly found it in my closet. It is a different type than I've been using recently, but I remember back when I bought it, I loved this cane. So I'm hoping I will like it again. And I think it's good every now and then to switch the types of cane you're working on. Just to see, you know, like, especially if things aren't going well. I mean, maybe your batch of cane isn't very good. So rule out one variable at a time. And if you have any recommendations of cane you're liking, I am looking to try something new because it's been a long time since I've done that. So please leave me a comment. Let me know. What are you enjoying? Okay, I'm just gonna thin this a little more up in the blend area before I clip it open. Okay. Oh, also, to my US friends, I have updated my website, so I'm going to start doing read subscriptions. So if you are in the market for buying reads, maybe you're not totally playing on all your own yet, then check out my shop. I'll put the description for that below. But the subscriptions will come every day, the same time each month. So you'll know you'll always have reads you can rely on because they'll always be there. And then you'll save a little bit of money because of the subscription model. So I'll leave that in the box below as well. And right now I can only ship within the United States. But once we'll see how it goes, and then maybe I'll add some other shipping options as well in the future. So, all right, this reed feels a little hefty still in the back, but it's getting better here. So let's soak it a little more. Okay. It just feels like a very thick piece of cane, but let's go ahead and clip it open. All right. And my goal with this reed is to just get it vibrating quickly as possible. I'll probably leave this a little longer as well. So around 71 when I let it dry, because it is a thicker piece of cane, and if I cut it closer to 70 today, it's probably going to open up more than I want it to and make it more difficult to manage. So that's just a little tip. If your reeds are super open, don't clip them all the way down to finished length on day one, because it'll just open up a little bit more as it dries out. But contrarily, don't leave it too long. I would never leave it much above 71. But if your reed is too thin, then clipping it down at least to 71, maybe 70 and a half would be good if it's too small, because it'll help it to open up. So it just kind of depends on the piece of cane. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, look how it's opening a little on the sides, but that's because it's so open back here. And I thinned a lot more out of the top, so that'll close down. I need to work in the back next. Let's test the closure. I try to show you guys the closure and then I can't see it, so I gotta look at it this way. All right. It's way too long. So I gave it a healthy clip. And we're at 72. 72. Okay, closure is better. So now we're just going to thin the corners of the tip right here. One side. Nice. And I'm not going to thin it all the way to a finished thinness. Not yet. In a first day scrape, you want to leave the tip a little bit thicker, so that when you come back to it the next day or whenever you come back to it, all you'll have to do is just thin the tip a little bit. And usually that's all the reed needs. As long as the cane is good and you've taken enough off on your day one scrape. If you leave your day one a little too hard, then you'll have more work to do. But that's why I say get the reed vibrating before you leave it on day one. Okay, had a little groove there, so I was trying to clean that up. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's got good closure. It's got a good flick of the tongue. All right, so now it's all about making this flex like a reed and getting the proportions right. Okay. Take some off here, then the tip a little. Now, since this is long, I'm gonna work in this blend area a little bit more, because I know I'm going to clip it again here in a minute. And I don't want to do that after the fact, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Okay. I'm gonna hold the throat closed a little. Okay, clip. I'm not gonna take as much this time, maybe 0.5 millimeter. Okay, it's starting to feel like a reed. At this point, like I said, I'm gonna leave it a little long. I'm gonna go ahead and put my tip line in, and I'll probably let it dry there. So I'm just gonna put it right here. I didn't measure it. I'm eyeballing it right now because this reads a little long. So it's probably a little over 66 right now. But I do recommend measuring. So let's measure and let's just see. Let's see if I eyeballed correctly. Yeah, right at 66. My eye just kind of knows where it is now, but I still always measure. I double check. Sometimes I'm wrong. So make this line up on the other side. Okay. There we go. And other side. And then it should have a nice balanced crow. Maybe a little hard, a little flat. But the tip we're leaving pretty thick still. But it's still got shading, as you can tell. All right, let's give it a crow. All right, so we'll let this dry here. Again, check out the description box below to sign up for the sound support masterclass and breathing masterclass, or check out some reads. And I'll see you in the next video.